You're going to be 40 anyway. You're going to be 30 anyway. Do you want to be 30 or 40 years old and be successful? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joy. I'm a neonatal nurse practitioner living here in Houston. I make content about moving to Houston, being a nurse, and how to achieve your goals. If that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and push that subscribe button and let's get into the content. Today's video is going to cover things I would tell my 30-year-old self now that I'm 40. Okay, you guys know I'm in Aries. I just turned 40 in March. And so I was thinking to myself, what would I tell my 30-year-old self? What would I tell my 35-year-old self? And so I started to create this little list, and I want to share this with you guys because I feel like a lot of these things are very helpful. And being the oldest daughter, I have always suffered from oldest daughter syndrome. And I know if you are an oldest daughter, then you've heard about oldest daughter syndrome. I'm the oldest daughter of 4 girls on my mother's side. And so, yes, I suffer from oldest daughter syndrome. Oldest daughter syndrome entails having a strong responsibility for your siblings and for the people around you. Even though you are a child and, you grow up into being an adult, and you still behave in that same manner where you feel like you are responsible for the people around you. You start to take on that caregiver role, and then as an oldest daughter, you automatically have those high expectations placed on you, and that carries on as you become an adult. You still have these high expectations. You have these high expectations of yourself, and you have these high expectations of your partners, your kids, like your friends, everybody around you. You have high expectations of, because you have high expectations of yourself. You suffer from perfectionism. Me, type A personality. I want everything to be perfect. Obviously, I work in a high intense ICU setting, and a lot of the nurses there are the same way. Like, we are perfectionists, and so I fit in perfectly with that environment. But that's something that is included in oldest daughter syndrome. Because you had to have independence at an early age, you're the oldest daughter, you're responsible for your younger siblings, you grow up being hyper independent. And then that was something else that I had to deal with as an adult, learning how to ask for help, learning how to not be so independent, knowing that it's okay to not have to do everything on your own. Like, I used to think if I don't do it, it's not going to get done, when in reality, it'll still get done. It just might not be how you would do it, but it would still get done. But because we are the oldest daughter, we suffer from difficulty asking for help, and that is very clear, like in my life. Not anymore because I'm healed, but I would say, like, it can still happen, but for the most part, I don't suffer from not being able to ask for help. But in the past, that was something that I did experience. Like, I didn't ever want to ask for help, number one, because like I said, if I didn't do it, it wouldn't get done how I wanted to get it done anyway. So, like, what was the point of asking for help? And then also, I'm not gonna ask for help because I just did it. So that's just who I was. Oldest daughter syndrome. So because I suffer from oldest daughter syndrome, I had to be able to step out of this situation and start therapy and work on myself. And so these are some things that I've learned in my 30s that I will pass along, well, in my 20s and 30s, that I will pass along to you guys that you can use in your life. Number one, I would say, don't feel guilty about doing what you need to do in order to get yourself out of poverty. Like, I used to feel like, as a single mom, I used to feel bad. Like, okay, I'm leaving my kid, I'm at school all day, like all these things that I used to feel so bad about. But like right now, in this present day, she's so happy and she's living the life that she deserves to live. And yes, it was a sacrifice when she was small, but it was so worth it. And I want you guys to know, like, nursing is hard. And if you're a single mom, or even if you're not, like, sometimes you just feel guilty. You feel guilty for missing family functions. You feel guilty for not hanging out with your boyfriend. Like, you feel guilty because nursing takes up a lot of your life. And I'm telling you now, do not feel guilty for doing what you need to do to get yourself out of poverty. The second thing I would say is to start putting money up at as young as age as possible. My first job, I was 15 18 years old, and at that time I didn't put money into it. But one time I went to the gynecologist, and I probably was about 19, and one thing that she told me, it was so weird, we was having this conversation, but she told me, like, if your job is giving you a percentage that is free money, so just think of it as free money, always at least bare minimum match the percentage that they're giving you. So in your 401k, if your job is giving you 4% of whatever you put in, at bare minimum you should be putting in 4% in your 401k. And don't think of it like, oh, I don't have the money, I can't make this sacrifice right now. But think about yourself when you're 40. Think about your 50-year-old self and understand that they will thank you. Just know, like, you're putting the money up for them. It's not for you, it's for them. It's when I put into my 401k, every single time it hurts me because I want to keep that money. I want a new car, so I want to keep that money. But I know that when I'm putting in my 401k, it is for 60-year-old Joy. It's not for 40-year-old Joy. So keep that in mind. This is for your future self, for who you want to be and how you want her to live. Put the money in there. Bare minimum, whatever it is your company is putting in, you should be putting in. Number 3, I'm going to tell you to trust your intuition. Listen to your inner voice, whatever it is that it's telling you. I know that sounds so crazy, but sometimes, like, we have this voice in our head that tells us, like, I shouldn't be going here, I shouldn't be dating him, I shouldn't be doing whatever I'm doing. Like, you have this voice in your head. Listen to the voice in your head. There's a reason you have it. And never take advice from somebody that you wouldn't trade places with. I'm telling you right now, like, people will always try to give you advice. People always try to say, like, you should do this, you should do that. Whenever I was in school to be an RN, my boyfriend at the time was like, you should just be an LPN. Like, why do you want to do so much? And I could have listened to that, but I didn't, because I had this inner voice in my head telling me I wasn't doing too much. One time, my senior year in school, I was offered the chance to be able to go to Ghana for 3 months for the summer to work abroad. And I really wanted to go. I wanted to go so bad, but the people around me were like, you going to Africa? Like, it's so dangerous. Why would you go to Africa? And it just put so much doubt and fear inside of me. When I tell you, a couple months later, the same person that was saying that to me literally called and was like, oh, I'm going to Africa with my church. Ma'am, you said, why would I go? It's dangerous. And now you're going? So don't listen to people. I did end up going to Africa on my own terms, and I enjoyed it. I'm gonna make a video about that. But what I'm telling you is, don't listen to people's fears. They will try to speak fear on you. Don't do that. Don't take advice from somebody who hasn't done what you are trying to do. If somebody went to Africa and they experienced something bad and they came back and told me, like, okay, I went to Africa, this is what happened to me. That's one thing. I'm taking advice. Even though I'm gonna still go, I'm going to not do the things that they did that gave them the bad experience. But yeah, in short, never take advice from somebody who you would not trade places with. Embrace failure. You will make mistakes throughout your life. In your 20s and your 30s, you will make mistakes. You should not let that stop you. Like, understand that those are learning opportunities. Just keep moving forward. The only way you lose is if you stop. What is the saying? If you're going through hell, keep going. And that's what I'm telling you. If you're going through hell, keep going. Because one thing about it is, like, I went through hell a few times in my life, and if I would have stopped, I would have still been in hell. The fact that I didn't stop, the fact that I kept going, this fact that I could stay consistent means I got out of hell. So if you're going through hell, keep going. If you make a mistake, take it as a learning opportunity. Do not look at it like, oh, it's a setback, it's, I messed up, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, there's always chances for you to redeem yourself. So comfort is the worst addiction you can have. In order to be successful, you have to get very comfortable with being uncomfortable. I mean, when I tell you, like, being a new grad is so uncomfortable. Moving to a different state is so uncomfortable. Like, going through nursing school is so uncomfortable. All those things are so uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, you need to do what you need to do in order to be successful. So yeah, get comfortable with being uncomfortable so that you can live your dream life, the life that you have for your future self in your head, so that you can live that out. Okay, always practice gratitude. Something that people always say about me is that I'm always very thankful. I'm always very grateful for everything that people do, and I show it outwardly. at the end of the day, like, people want to know that what they're doing for you is not taken for granted. So just practice gratitude when it comes to God providing all the time, when it comes to, you know, anything that's happening in life. Like, no, you don't have the car that you want, but are you thankful for the car that you have? No, you're not living where you want, but are you thankful that you have a roof over your head? Will you pick up somebody else's problems today? If somebody just told everybody to put their problems down and you had the opportunity to pick up somebody else's problems without knowing what those problems were, would you pick them up? If your answer is no, then you need to practice gratitude for what you have. Continue to always be thankful and grateful for the people around you, for the support that you have, even if you feel like it's not what it's supposed to be. Just be thankful. Once people understand that you are thankful, more comes. Abundance is always coming for those that are thankful. You're going to be 40 anyway. You're going to be 30 anyway. Do you want to be 30 or 40 years old and be successful? Or do you want to be unsuccessful? You have to answer that question. You're going to be 40 anyway. So the thing you have to remember is the work and the sacrifice you're putting for today is not for today. It's for a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, however long it takes. And something else y'all need to know, like, you know, I went to nursing school. I made the sacrifices for nursing school. But if school is not your thing, don't go to school. Don't go to school. My current boyfriend right now makes more money than me, has a nice schedule, gets all expensive paid vacations, and you know what he's in? Sales. The girls that you see out driving the nice cars and going on vacations and making six figures, they are in sales. And you don't have to go to school for 6 years for sales. If you're good at talking to people, you have the personality for it, go into sales. You know, like, get the money. You don't have to go to school for years and years and years to get the money. Another thing I want to tell you too is, yes, we want friends. We want friends, and that is true. But the friends that you have in your 20s will not be the friends that you have in your 30s. And the friends that you have in your 30s will not be the friends that you have in your 40s. And yeah, you might have 1 or 2 friends that hang around throughout that 20, 30, 40 period. You might have 1 or 2. But the majority of the friends that you meet will come along at different periods of your life. So if right now you're feeling lonely and you feel like you don't have friends that align with you, who are equally yoked, understand they are coming. Your friends are coming. Your people are coming. You will have your people. Just be patient, stay still, and wait on the blessings to come to you, because you will have your people. I promise you. And listen, imposter syndrome is not real. And I know you always think that you suffer from imposter syndrome, but you don't. Take a look at the people around you, the people who are where you want to be. Look at those nurse practitioners. Are they better than you? No. Did they go through the same courses that you went through? Yes. Then why do you think that you're an imposter? I literally had to climb out the barrels of hell to get to where I am today. I literally had struggles after struggles after struggles, and I'm still here. Imposter syndrome is not real. Do not say you suffer from it. It's not part of your life. It's not a real thing. You are here because you deserve to be here. So start training yourself now to take nothing personal. If you start now taking nothing personal, it will save you years of emotional stress. Understand that. And therapy is the most important thing that you can do for yourself. Even if you feel like you can't afford it, go once a month, once every 2 months, whatever you need to do. And if you feel like you don't need it, you absolutely need it. I'm telling you now, you absolutely need it. We all suffer from childhood trauma, things we went through in life, and the only way to get to the other side is through therapy. So go to therapy. Okay, guys, that's my advice that I would give to my 30-year-old self now that I am 40. If you want me to give you more advice, leave it in the comments and let me know. I hope these things are valuable to you guys. These are all the things that I would go back and tell my 30-year-old self. And so if you are 30 and you're watching this, or if you're 20 and you're watching this, if you're 20, you're ahead of the game. Please like and subscribe and share this video with your friends, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
'Cause baby, girl, you are so easily